Okay, today we're going to tie a Eumer yellow teardrop tube. First thing you do, you need to put the inner sleeve in. Bring it out from the rear, from the narrower section, about 2-3 millimeters, and melt that. And the best way to do that is to hold it upright and let it just fold down. And right after that, we'll put in the back tube, the tube that holds the hook when fishing. And there, it's ready to be put onto the needle. Here we're using a Eumer tube flying tying device. So that's how it's attached to here. And we start tying from the front right onto the plastic tube, the inner sleeve. Go around a few times, get it started. And snip off the excess. And one of several ways to start it, but one of the favored ways is to start out with a yellow flash. We'll start 3-4 pieces about 20 centimeters long. We tie them in at about halfway. There, go around, tighten it in a bit, and bring it back around. And here we try to make sure they're spread out a little bit, so they're not in a big clump right up on top of the fly. And we snip each individual one, and the goal would be to try to get them so none of them are the same length. The next is yellow Arctic fox for the bottom. Snip that there, and we'll brush out the small downy hair inside of there. We get a nice good tie into there. And here we pull out the longer ones, and we want pretty downy, not too many long ones in there, not all of the short ones in there. Spread it around, make a small plate type, and then grab onto it and tie that right into there. Right at the edge of the yellow tube, we're still got brass tube. And you notice how it flares up when you tie it in. And here is optional to use a tiny drop of super glue. And the reason for this is get a nice sturdy, really strong fly in the long run. A tiny drop will do, as small as possible so you don't get sloppy. Next thing we put on is yellow angel hair. Grab or pinch some out of pull it out of the package in the same way as the yellow flash symbol. We tie it in and bring it back over. Spread it around there a bit so it flares out a bit, makes the fly come alive. And again, once again, we cut those off just a different length, so and you notice the fly is the top wing is getting longer and longer as we progress here. Next, we're going to put in a black hackle. We use black schluckpin. Flares out nicely. Take out, tear a bit out there so we can tie it in nicely. I'm going to cut that into the hackle off, and we just bring it around and get a nice flaring hackle. And what we're doing here now is we're coming down off of the yellow fox and the golden colored angel here, and the next place we start tying we're going to have or we'll be tying onto the plastic tube again. And we tie that in, snip off the excess. And here, if you tie a bit too high, you'll get a flat fly, but when you keep it down, you get a nice and live looking fly. Next is going to be, for the top wing, we'll put black Arctic fox. And once again, we'll brush out the small furry stuff that's down at the base. Take out the longer hair and leave some of those in to make that fly alive in the back. We tie that in, and then once again, since we came forward with the hackle, this is going right onto the plastic tube. And basically, up on quick drop of super glue again. Make a nice sturdy fly. And here, if you put too much, you just feel free to just wipe it off with your finger. And to finish, we can go with the cone head here, but to make a nice finish, we use peacock curls, and we bring it back so the back end, so it's a bit longer than the rest of the black wing. We tie those into there, to the edges. Some people may use 2 or 3, some people may, or 2 or 3 per side. In this case, we'll just put one per side, and that'll give it a really nice touch. Now we can finish. Tie it now, put our knot in. And there we have, it's almost done. One more step is we finish this fly with a yellow cone head, Eumer medium yellow. We snip that off. We leave 2-3 millimeters there, and you can melt that in, and once again hold it upright and let it melt down, and it'll come down really nicely. And it'll kind of mushroom up against the cone head and hold it secure. And here we got to remember to put it back into the tying needle in case it melted shut, so when we go out fishing that the line will fit through. There's our finished fly.